Hey guys, YouTube War 100 here. Alright, and now here I am with another Nickelodeon Christmas special review. And now for my next review, this is going to be a review for the the Jimmy Neutron Christmas special, Holly Jolly Jimmy. So this episode, this was the ninth episode of the second season of the show, and this originally aired in December 2003. Yeah, so if you saw the my review for the Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius movie that I did several years ago, I said before how the Jimmy Neutron show it wasn't really like one of my favorite Nickelodeon shows, but I did find it okay. Like yeah, there were some episodes of the show that I did like, and other episodes that I did not like. So yeah, so for me, Jimmy Neutron, like this show was it was kind of a hit and miss show. Yeah. Yeah, and it really was not a show that I would watch regularly. Like I would tune into it like sometimes and watch some episodes, and yeah, and like I said, there were some episodes that I liked and other episodes I did not like. So yeah, the Jimmy Neutron show was really just like kind of a mixed bag for me. Yeah, and as far as this special goes, this was like an episode of the show that um I really hadn't seen before. Like I don't think I ever did actually watch this special before at all. So yeah, so when I just sat down to watch it to make this review, I really didn't know what to expect from it. I didn't know if it was gonna be like really good or really boring or it was really gonna be. Yeah. So yeah, so I went into it with really just like a blank mind of really like not knowing what to expect from it. Yeah. And after watching it, I would say overall for a Jimmy Neutron Christmas special, I'd say this was pretty good. Yeah. What it really is about is it's of course Christmas time, and with um like uh everybody kind of excited for Christmas, and Carl talking about how like he believes in Santa and stuff. How he of Jimmy was Jimmy's saying how he because Jimmy is such a science whiz, he really doesn't believe in Santa Claus because he's such a science geek. He bases Santa's statistics on science, and just saying how it was really impossible for Santa to really deliver presents to all the children in a single night. So yeah, and um uh then after one of Jimmy's devices may have a detection of Santa Claus, then Jimmy, Carl, and Sheen then travel to the North Pole, and then yeah, and as they're trying to attract Santa, that Jimmy's device ends up accidentally injuring Santa Claus, and so then Jimmy then decides to take Santa's job and deliver presents to everybody, and really just prove that Santa does not exist. And that really is kind of what this what the premise of this special really is. It really is just about how Jimmy doesn't believe in Santa, and it's later Jimmy does mention in this special the reason why he doesn't believe in Santa Claus. Yeah, and then of course at the end of the this special, it is revealed that Santa really does exist, and then Jimmy then does believe, and yeah, it really is kind of just this special really is just kind of just to really teach Jimmy a lesson about Santa Claus and Christmas and stuff. So yeah, so this special, it does kind of like take some um uh ideas from like some other like various Christmas specials and movies. Like it kind of like it's kind of like telling the tale of like Nightmare Before Christmas in a sense, where like Jimmy is taking over Santa's job of delivering presents and stuff, and then like and also kind of like taking an idea from the first Santa Claus movie because like Jimmy stopped believing in Santa because he didn't get a gift for Christmas. Yeah, and it kind of like takes some ideas from like some other Christmas movies and specials. Yeah. So yeah. So overall, I did think that for a Jimmy Neutron Christmas special, it was overall pretty good. Yeah, it does have like some funny moments in it, like when it like has like a Jimmy like meeting like Jimmy, Carl, and Sheen meeting the elves in the North Pole, and yeah, it's kind of funny how Jimmy like is like kind of like just like in denial about that they're in the North Pole and Santa's workshop and the elves and stuff. Like Jimmy kind of just like makes some like arguments about like how they're not really like elves and stuff. Yeah, and it's kind of funny just seeing Jimmy because he's just like so scientific. Like he really just like is like really in denial about the whole thing, which is like kind of funny. Yeah, and then yeah, then like after like it's like revealed that like a Jimmy injured Santa and supposedly ruined Christmas. Like it's like gets out to like Retroville, and Jimmy's parents like really are trying to try to uh, save Jimmy he from being shunned by Retroville, and Jimmy's dad like makes like a new holiday that he like ends up calling uh Pule, which is like a combination of pie and Yule. So yeah, so it's kind of funny that like Jimmy's dad tries to make up like another holiday. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, so it does have some funny moments like that. They also do kind of like treat this special as a musical in a sense because there are like a few songs in this special as well. But yeah, the songs are really forgettable. So yeah. So I really think they could have really done without trying to make it a musical. Yeah. But yeah, the story that this special tells, I do think it is pretty good. It really is kind of like with Jimmy kind of like learning a lesson about like Santa Claus and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, so yeah, like I said, for a Jimmy Neutron Christmas special, I do think that it is overall a pretty enjoyable one. Like if you were a fan of Jimmy Neutron, like if you're interested in seeing like a Christmas episode of Jimmy Neutron, I think this is just about like what people would really like expect for a Jimmy Neutron Christmas special. So so if you are so like I said, if you did like Jimmy Neutron, then I think that this is a special that you really will enjoy. So 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 yeah, that's really like the best way I can put it. If you like Jimmy Neutron and you're interested in seeing a Christmas special, then I think you'll probably like this. All right, so I guess that's the best way I can put it. All right, so I guess I'll just talk a little bit about the premise of this special. Yeah. So as the episode opens up, like it opens up in Jimmy's class, and yeah, it's like a they're having like a Christmas themed show and tell, and Carl is showing like a bag containing like an old like a cheese nip snack, and like Carl was talking about how like he left a plate of cheese nips out for Santa last Christmas Eve, and when he woke up, there was only one left. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, Jimmy was really like really like a doubting that Santa existed because, like I said, like Jimmy like had was like basing it on science, and there were a bunch of like scientific impossibilities surrounding Santa Claus, and so then Jimmy just like didn't really believe that Santa existed. Yeah, and then then like it upset Carl that like Jimmy said that, and then Cindy, like Cindy Vortex, of course, yeah, she like was like getting on Jimmy for like upsetting Carl like that. Yeah, and then and like something else that I did like about this episode is that like you know how like in like the Jimmy Neutron episodes they like had the transitions of like the like like the science like stuff that transitioned into like another scene. Yeah, here like it was whole like a Christmas style like transitions. Like you had like candy canes and like a snowflake and the outline of a Christmas tree and stuff like that. So yeah, so they had like a Christmas transitions for the transitions in the special. Yeah, and yeah. Then later on, like in Jimmy's lab, Jimmy like apologized to Carl for hurting his feelings, and he explained to both Carl and Sheen why he doesn't believe in Santa. Because 2 years earlier, Jimmy wanted a special gift from Santa, which was a core sample from Dwarf Star NG738. And yeah, and it was what Jimmy wanted more than anything, but he did not get it for Christmas. And so then that's when Jimmy like stopped believing in Santa. Yeah. And then yeah, then Sheen was just like starting to like laugh about it and really was just believing that like the reason Jimmy didn't get that was because he was on the naughty list. Yeah. And then yeah, then and like Jimmy Lin was just like pointing out like reindeers or statistics and was just saying how like the reindeer really don't fit requirements for flying and like show them like calculations and stuff. But like uh then like Carl wound up sitting on like a DNA tracker of Jimmy's, yeah. And then when he sat on it, like it picked up like a pattern from Carl's cheese nip, yeah. And then like as Jimmy like was observing it, like the DNA was like picking up like some saliva on the snack, and then like Carl and Sheen then believed that like it was Santa's saliva on the cheese nip, and then Jimmy like sarcastically like suggested that they should like travel to the North Pole to find Santa, and then yeah, Carl and Sheen then like wound up like agreeing, and so then like they actually did go to the North Pole, yeah. And then it also showed like because like Cindy and Libby were still upset about Jimmy like hurting Carl's feelings the way he did, yeah. They wound up like peeking at some of their Christmas presents, and like they one of their gifts was a video camera, yeah. And then they like noticed Jimmy, Carl, and Sheen preparing to go to the North Pole, and so then like Libby then suggested to Cindy that they should really like uh, uh, make a embarrassing video of Jimmy he to punish him for hurting Carl. Yeah, and then as they were like searching Jimmy's rocket to try to find something to humiliate Jimmy, like they wound up accidentally getting sucked into Jimmy's hypercube. Like you remember like the hypercube from the hypercorn short that was for the movie. Yeah, it was like one of those like small like promotional shorts for the movie. Yeah, do you remember like that um cube from the hypercorn short? Yeah, that's what they wound up falling into. Yeah, and then yeah, then Jimmy, Carl, and Sheen then like took off to the North Pole in Jimmy's rocket, and yeah, and then once they arrived there, like they wound up discovering Santa's workshop, and then like Jimmy, of course, like trying to deny that it is the workshop, was just like suggesting that it's a cleverly disguised military outpost, yeah. And then eventually Cindy and Libby then eventually were able to get out of the hypercube after like they used Libby's CD player to like just turn up the volume and get them to like be like blasted out of the cube. Oh yeah, they wound up escaping, yeah. And then yeah, then as Jimmy, Carl, and Sheen then entered the workshop, they then discovered the elves that were making toys. Yeah, but Jimmy still wasn't convinced and was just like thinking that the workshop was just a glorified factory, and that the elves are just like midgets with ear conditions. Yeah, and then then they met like the uh, the chief elf Lou. Yeah, and um, then like all of a sudden, Jimmy's DNA tracker wound up overloading, and then it like fired a beam that bounced everywhere, and then it eventually wound up hitting Santa, and it just wound up like injuring him and just scrambling his atoms. Yeah. And then and then Lou then like was just like really like upset at Jimmy and was just like telling him that like he's ruined Christmas, and like his stupid scanner thing broke Santa. Yeah, and then Sydney and Libby were then like able to like get it on video, and then and yeah, and then like Sydney then was just starting to accuse Jimmy of just really like uh going a step further to try to ruin Christmas for everyone, and then and as they were continuing to just berate Jimmy, yeah, and sorry, and we were like trying to describe a plan to ruin Jimmy's reputation. Jimmy then had one of the toy rockets in the workshop, like grab us Cindy and Libby and like take him back to Retroville. Yeah, and then Jimmy then decided since Santa was injured that Jimmy would deliver all of the presents himself using science, and if he'd be able to do that, it would prove that Santa Claus didn't exist. And so then Jimmy then stored all of the presents in his hypercube, and then used his rocket to um uh, uh, fly off to deliver the presents. Yeah, yeah. And then then it showed like back in Retroville how Jimmy's parents saw on TV that like they were saying that like Jimmy had ruined Christmas and injured Santa because Cindy was able to provide some footage, and Jimmy's dad wanted to save Jimmy from everybody despising him, and so then he decided that he would like invent a new holiday for people to celebrate that would be centered around pies. And like I said, he called it Pule, like which is a combination between pie and Yule. Yeah, and as he was trying to like give pies to everybody, like it just like wound up failing, and nobody wanted pies. Yeah, yeah. And then like as a Jimmy, Carl, and Sheen were like delivering the presents, like Goddard was like acting, of course, as a reindeer here for Jimmy. Yeah, and then uh, as they were like just about finished delivering all the presents, since like Carl was like upset because like since like Jimmy had seemed to like prove his point that Santa didn't exist. Yeah, Carl was like upset about that, but then Jimmy then realized that like they had actually forgotten to deliver the presents to Retroville. Yeah, and so then Jimmy then like used a warp module to give his rocket a lightspeed blast so they could make it to Retroville in time. But there was just like so much energy that Jimmy's rocket it wound up like disintegrating, and as Jimmy, Carl, Sheen, and Goddard were all then plummeting down. Carl like was actually like really happy because since Jimmy had now like technically failed to deliver all the presents, it meant that Santa was real. Yeah, and as they were all like plummeting, then if the real Santa then ended up showing up, and then yeah, he wound up rescuing them. Yeah, and then Jimmy then like was happy to see that Santa was real, and then like Santa like was telling Jimmy that he had indeed been on the naughty list for some time. Yeah, and then like Jimmy then apologized for injuring Santa, and then like like they asked Santa if like if he would be able to deliver the presents to Retroville in time. And Santa like was initially said no, but then as like he was trying to then like tried to think if there would be a way. Then Santa, like you know how like in the show and in the movie, of course, Jimmy like had this the brain blast, yeah, and like right here, Santa had a brain blast, yeah, and then he had an idea of how he could deliver the presents to Retro Valentine, and so then Santa then like used another one of Jimmy's warp models to speed up his sleigh. Yeah, and his sleigh was was would be able to handle the energy since like it would be able to handle light speed better than Jimmy's rocket. Yeah, and so then they wound up using it, and yeah, then they were able to deliver all the presents to Retroville, and yeah, then he dropped Carl, Sheen, and Jimmy off at their homes. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah, then it showed how like when Jimmy was home, he looked under the tree and he saw that Santa had given him the dwarf star and said that like Santa left a note for Jimmy saying that it just needed 5 years to cool off. Yeah, and it showed how Carl and Sheen had gifts as well, and then it showed how Cindy and Libby were given lumps of coal as punishment for trying to um uh, trying to shame Jimmy the way they did. Yeah, and then yeah, then when Jimmy got his gift, he was able to just let go of the past, and then Jimmy celebrated with his parents, and they had their presents as well. Yeah, and then yeah, then Jimmy had Goddard place the dwarf star on top of the tree, and then it ended with Jimmy singing another Christmas song with his parents, and then as it zoomed out from the house, it showed that it started to snow outside, and that's how it ended. So yeah, so like I said, like if you did like the Jimmy Neutron show, then I think that this is probably the kind of Christmas special that you would probably expect to see from it. Yeah, I think this would probably be like what you would think of for a Christmas style story for Jimmy Neutron. So yeah, so overall, I do think that it is a pretty solid Christmas special. Yeah, I once again, like I was saying about the Victorious Christmas special, I wouldn't really say it's one of Nickelodeon's best Christmas specials of all time, but it's definitely not the worst. Like I said in the Victorious review, yeah, there have been like other Nickelodeon Christmas specials that I have liked less than this one. So yeah, so it is a pretty solid Christmas special, and like I said, if you like Jimmy Neutron, then I think you will enjoy this Christmas special. All right, so yeah, so I guess that's the best way I can put it. All right, so yeah, so I guess that's all I really have to say about it. All right, so this is it for my review of the of the Jimmy Neutron Christmas special, Holly Jolly Jimmy. So yeah, so I hope you guys did enjoy this review. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.